How's it going, my evil residents? Unfortunately, I've been hit with the annual Dark Souls bug and desperately wanted to make a video about it, but I couldn't think of something that fit the channel. That is, until I remembered, I've never used crossbows in this game, so naturally I thought of my favorite femme fatale for my favorite series, and I asked the question, can you beat Dark Souls as Ada Wong? Basically, this is a crossbow only run. This has been done before and the answer is yes, but stick around because it'll be fun anyway. I'm going to throw in some extra cheesy Resident Evil references to make it much more interesting than a regular challenge run, hopefully. While we're fighting the Asylum Demon, let me explain the rules. We're only allowed to kill things with crossbows, though we make an exception for the Asylum Demon and kill him with a bow, as it's the closest we can get to a crossbow on a starting character, so naturally, we pick the Hunter as our starting class and the Master Key for our gift. Dark Souls didn't have Ada's hairstyle, so we picked the Sphere Hunter hair. I am allowing myself to duplicate souls just to save myself time, otherwise this video would take decades to come out. However, because of that, I am doing level caps. All the level caps are listed on screen right now with their corresponding boss, and I didn't allow myself to level past the number on the screen until I beat that boss with whichever number is with whichever boss. I am not allowing item duping though, so we will need to grind materials later. With that out of the way, we pelt the Asylum Demon to death to take his key and move on to Firelink Shrine. Ada immediately makes a break for the Undead Burg, climbing up onto this roof to jump across and get her trusty crossbow on the balcony. She then stocks up on bolts before heading down to Darkroot Basin, barely dodging the big cheese on the way. She meets the friendly merchant to upgrade her light crossbow to +5 and heads into a nearby church, hoping to find the amber. She doesn't know the nature of this amber, but she knows her client is paying top dollar for it, and that's all she's concerned with. She finds a shortcut to Firelink and quickly activates it before backtracking to take out the Taurus demon.
Oh my god, chat. I just... Oh my god. Chat, look at the... He's cooked. Oh my god.
After defeating him, she receives intel that the church she visited may have the amber up at the bell tower, so she backtracks all the way to the church and carefully makes her way upstairs past the infected villagers and the big cheese. Once she reaches the roof, she's ambushed by the Chainsaw Sisters, seemingly guarding some sort of intel on the amber's true location, as it is not up here. She carefully dispatches them, having trouble keeping distance on their long attacks, but her crossbow helps make quick work of them.
Oh, I'm cooked. Beautiful. Works ESR, but no.
Once she reaches the top, she sees that blonde twink from Raccoon City cornered by villagers and rings the church bell to try and distract them. On her way back down, a strange man tells her that the amber was taken down into Blighttown past the sewers. Great. In order to reach the sewers, Ada must steal the key from one of Salazar's bodyguards, the Capra Demon. His lair is small and his minions make it hard to get around, but thankfully Ada is able to dodge and weave between their attacks to make things a 1v1, where she's able to take him down pretty quickly and steal his key.
Oh my goodness.
While she realizes there may be a safer way to Blighttown, she does use this key to obtain a rare treasure from the merchant, letting her upgrade her crossbow to +10. She then delves into the sewers, but gets sidetracked a bit when she receives intel from Wesker that there's some more powerful weaponry down there that can help her take down the tougher foes in the village. She eventually finds power within, which will increase her damage by 50%. She doesn't have the equipment to use it yet, but she stashes it away for later. The next obstacle blocking Ada's way to the amber is a massive demon spider, Quelaag. Ada struggles a lot here as her crossbow is a bit slower than the creature's attacks, but eventually finds her weak spot by shooting the human part of the spider. This locks her in to be shot for quite a while, and Ada uses it to her advantage to eventually take her down after lots of trial and error.
Oh my god.
It turns out Sadler moved the Amber while she was distracted fighting Quelaag. Wesker thought it might be housed in the massive fortress near the village, so she heads there now that the door is open. On the way, a man named Luis hands her the equipment she needs to use Power Within, the spell she found in Blighttown. She thanks him, wondering why he decided to help her, but is still grateful for the assistance. The fortress has tons of slippery edges and dangerous traps, but Ada is agile enough to get past all of them with very little effort. She does find a new crossbow here, but doesn't like it quite as much as old Reliable, so she just stashes it away. Thankfully, she got that pyromancy hand from Luis because Power Within came in super handy for this boss fight, as the fortress was guarded by an axe-wielding armored giant. Her arrows did very little damage to him, and the fight was long. Endurance and agility played a bigger part in survival than landing big hits. She slowly ticked away at him, even managing to stagger him until he finally goes down. Ada then ascends the wall of the massive castle overlooking the village, briefly taking in the gorgeous view before moving along to the main throne room of the castle. If the Amber wasn't in that fortress, surely it's somewhere in this castle. However, upon reaching Salazar, she's faced with her toughest enemy yet, or enemies plural. Salazar sent his right hand and his left hand to dispose of her, leading to a brutal 2-on-1 battle to the death. Ada bobs and weaves between hammer blows, leaps and slides between spear slashes and lightning shots, dabbing away from brutal ground pounds without a moment to rest. She's pushed to her limits before finally taking down Verdugo. However, it seems Pasanta absorbs his power, doubling in size and gaining a massive power boost, leading to a second round 1v1. Things aren't going too well until she retreats, opting to use stealth to her advantage. She hides herself behind a broken pillar, taking pot shots at Pasanta, while he isn't looking to slowly whittle him down until he finally gives up the ghost. Ada's had enough of playing a role in Salazar's crappy script and delves into his private library behind the castle to take him out before going after the Amber. She stops to fight Edwin on the way, then finds Salazar in his private chamber. Unfortunately, he has an ambush prepared for her, so she's quickly blindsided and defeated, then locked up in the castle's prison. Ada manages to escape, finding her weapons and quickly getting to searching the library for Salazar. Along the way, she finds a special crossbow from Salazar's private armory that fires 3 bolts in a row called the Avalon.
No! Oh, it's right there! No! Oh my god. There we go. That's fine. That's fine.
A big power boost she desperately needed to take on the rest of the threats in the castle and beyond. She heads back to the merchant to get it upgraded before heading back to the library to face off against Salazar. She tracks Salazar to an elaborate cave behind the library, seemingly too scared to face her head on and opting to hide like a coward. She pursues him and corners him in his cave, taking out his defenses and then slowly whittling down with her new advanced crossbow. Safe to say there's one less monster to worry about.
Oh, just in a second. No! We got him. We got him.
Wesker calls Ada to remind her why she's there, as she spent quite a while taking down that brat in the castle, and informs her that the Amber seems to have been moved to a nearby fortified island.
Oh. I'm sorry. It must be done. I'm sorry, Sid. No! I'm sorry, Sid.
Ada realizes she'll need even more power to take on the threats that lie there.
No freaking way.
and makes a pit stop to some nearby ruins beneath Firelink Shrine to get the largest treasure in the area. She brings it back to the merchant to plus 15 her crossbow, maxing out her power before moving on to the rocky corridors of the island.
You're kidding me.
She tracks one of Sadler's brutes to this chamber and quickly dispatches of him.
Oh my god.
She then delves deeper, finding a dark laboratory with a large, terrifying skull man that can reanimate skeletons, Gravelord Nito. She takes him out, making sure to avoid the skeletons and pick off Nito from a distance.
We got this.
With one of the largest, greatest threats of the island defeated, Ada backtracks to take on the main defenses of the island to get to the main chamber. Ada takes down one of the guardians, preventing her from entering deeper, tripping him and using the nearby cliff, knocking him off, allowing her to pass and fight the first of two guardians of the chamber. The first guardian is very similar to the one she fought before arriving in the village, though he has some more powerful weaponry and armor. He goes down pretty quickly, much like that first brute did. The second, however, has a unique mutation that makes him immune to the lava coating the floor. Ada has very little floor space to work with, but eventually is able to take him down with a little bit of space that she can take advantage of. After defeating the guards defending the Amber, Ada reaches the main chamber where it is being held. It's revealed at this point that the Amber is a smaller piece of a massive alpha-type Plaga that tries to take her down at any cost, even taking out the floor to prevent her from taking it. She sprints, jumps, and rolls her way past the Plaga's swipe attacks, taking down its shield before getting into the depths of the Plaga and taking the Amber, making a quick escape as the creature causes massive damage to the island. On the way back, Ada is ambushed by 4 Gyaradors being knocked into a deep, black pit with low visibility. She armors up, realizing even one attack from these guys will kill her instantly, and takes the brunt of their blades while taking them down one by one. She uses her maxed out crossbow with power within to do pretty good damage to each Gyarador, enough that she can basically take them on one by one before the next one even arrives.
round 2. We cut that.
She survives the ambush, completely done with this island by now, and goes to take on Sadler to make sure her escape chopper can pick her up safely. Upon reaching Sadler's chambers, he attacks relentlessly, nearly too fast for her to land any shots with her crossbow. However, she slowly learns his openings, bobbing and weaving to hit his weak points wherever she can, being careful not to rush things and take a fatal hit. Sadler is her toughest and fastest foe yet, but she manages to take him down, ending this for good.
Dude, holy shit. Wow. How did he hit me again? He's so annoying. He's so annoying.
About to leave on the chopper, but remembers that Leon is still on the island. She turns around, opting to go back and help him escape before leaving, much to Wesker's dismay. They may have gone their separate ways last time, but this time, it would be different. It had to be. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the run. If you like more Dark Souls videos as Resident Evil characters, please do let me know in the comments. I have an idea for a Leon run with only daggers, Krauser with only bows, and Chris with only fist weapons, but I'd love to hear any and all ideas you guys have below, or which of those you guys would like to see the most, if you want to see another sequel to this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like. If you disliked the video, feel free to dislike it, but let me know why down in the comments. Quick mention again that I have a Discord, merch, memberships, and Twitter links down in the description. Shout out to all my members, but a very special shout out to my nefarious residents, the Epic Rager, One's One Up, and Evil Resident, and a very extra special mega shout out to my malevolent residents, Donna Dracula TTV, Mark Maidens, Aircrom Cromer, and a Dark Trooper. Thank you very much for watching, and stay evil, my residents.